Hey everybody, welcome to Life Behind the Cover. I'm Taylor and today we're doing the makeup book tag. So for those of you who don't know what this tag is, it's a tag that basically for every step in your makeup process, you have to name a book related to it. I changed the original order of this to make it how I do my makeup, but I'm going to answer every question, even if I don't do that type of makeup. So with that said, let's get started. Oh, I would also like to say that I am not a pro in makeup. At 27 years old, I just started really doing makeup about 6 months ago. Like before that, I didn't use makeup at all. So I probably do crazy things. And the way I apply my makeup is probably not perfect, so don't do as you see. Like, don't follow me at all. So the first question is foundation, but I don't use foundation. My first step is typically bronzer. So I've switched that to bronzer. That said, the question is, what is your favorite first book in a series? Which mine is Strange to Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I'm going to start bronzing while I talk. It's a phenomenal book. I think that it's what I want fantasy to be. It's like that style. Like, I really love that about it. I love the fantasy part of it. It makes me ask a question. It makes me get excited. It's amazing. It's an amazing duology too. But for a first book, I think it pulls you in and gives you enough information and exciting things that it is a great book in and of itself. Okay, so with bronzer done, we are moving on to concealer. Concealer is pick some characters that you wish didn't exist, so we're going to start from least offensive to most offensive, I think. Umbridge is the first one I picked. She's worse than Voldemort in my opinion. She's disgusting. What's worse is that she's kind of an archetype of the people in the world who are discriminatory but believe that they're right and are just, and it's awful. She's the worst. I hate her more than Voldemort. She's the worst. The next person is Gail from The Hunger Games. This one is a question mark for me because, like, I didn't think he was awful, but to me he was incredibly selfish. He was very forceful. He tried to tell Katniss what she wanted, and I really didn't like it. And then the last one is Mal from the Grisha trilogy. I know people love Mal. I don't want to say anything to give away any spoilers. I know people love Mal. I think, again, he was selfish. He did a lot of awful acts, and like, I don't like that, and I'll never forgive him for that. So I don't use concealer to cover anything up. Typically I use it to brighten, so I'm going to put some here, some here. Sometimes I do it under the jawbone, but I won't be doing that today. So I saw this technique online by a makeup artist, and I'll share it with you if you want. I'm only putting a little bit because I feel like it tends to be so much for me. Button, and I'm going to say shh. So I finished my concealer on the bottom part of my eyes. I'm going to move up to this part to brighten. Okay. Right? Okay, so next we're going to move on to brows, which is what is a book you think everybody should read? This answer was fairly easy for me, especially with the times. I think everybody should read The Hate U Give. I think that people can connect to people when they're reading and seeing their stories personally. And with the times, apparently, a lot of people need to be connecting. I think its message is as important today as it was like only a few years ago when it was published, and I think it's a beautiful book and it's important for everybody to read it. I'm gonna go in with brows right now. I'm just gonna brush every hair up first. So I don't get my brows done at all because I don't care. So I really have to make my shape when I do my brows because they're so light. I really don't see a point in plucking or waxing or whatever. Also, I cannot find a shade light enough for me. This is a like more brownie shade, and you're gonna see how I use it to hopefully dilute the color so it makes more sense with my face and hair. So I'm just gonna underline it, pull it up over a little bit. It's okay that that's not perfect for me. Now I'm going to go into the spoolie again. Again, don't do anything I do. None of this is educational. And then I'm going to dilute that color. Because if you look, this is way too dark. So if I just did brow strokes, it would look insane on me. So I'm going to go through and dilute the color. So now that most of that color has been diluted and isn't clearly in any particular shape, I'm going to go in and fix the areas that didn't get enough. So I'm going to add just a stroke here on the tail. The tail always seems to be a problem. And a little bit here towards the front of the brow. I know people like to do that gradient eyebrow. I think for me it would look crazy because it'd be no eyebrow and then suddenly eyebrow halfway in the middle of my eye. So hopefully that kind of makes sense to you. I'm going to go and do the other brow. Remembering that brows are sisters, not twins, so they don't have to look identical. That said, mine always end up looking more like third cousins that see each other occasionally. So quickly gonna brush up and over my brows. Next is primer, because that's a prime is what? A crime? Yes? Nikki fans? No? Okay. Primer is for a book that left a lasting impression. For that, my answer is Harry Potter. I'm actually going to answer while I prime my eyelids. So, as I talked about my booktube movie tag, Harry Potter was the first book that I read. It was the first book that I even wanted to, really, of my own volition. And it has like a special place in my heart. That said, within the recent months, I think some things about J.K. Rowling have come out that are things that I don't approve of and are directly against what I would consider my moral compass to be. Typically, I do not watch, read anything people that I don't like. I don't go see movies with actors in it who I think are bad. I don't pick up a book for an actor that I think is discriminatory, period. Like, I have a very hard line with that. But now, suddenly, it's somebody that I've already read, that I've already loved, that I've already developed, like, such a connection to their work, and I don't super know what to do. I think, obviously, it's everybody's choice to pick how they would like to react. It is especially the choices of trans people to choose if what J.K. Rowling has done is appropriate or not. So anybody saying, it's fine, you don't get to pick unless you are trans. So Harry Potter is still a book that is important to me. Moving forward, I don't know if J.K. Rowling is. In fact, I know that she's not. So that's the only answer I know how to do. The next question is eyeshadow, which is pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. My favorite colors are red and, well, my favorite color is red, but my favorite color combination is red and black. Look at how gorgeous this book is. Now, you can say whatever you want about the contents of the book. I personally liked it. If you didn't, cool with me. This cover is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite covers by far. And obviously it has my favorite colors on it. And I think the blue works super good there too. So, the question is, what colors do I want to do for my eyes? Because this is not an all day or anything kind of thing, I thought that I could pick colors that I never use, and well, colors that I never use are pink, essentially. I mean, I don't really use orange, but I used that corally orange earlier for the summer video. I'm looking at my palettes right now. By the way, I have two palettes that I'm going to use. The Morphe 35B, the Color Burst. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's not available for certain places because they wanted the James Charles palette to do well, but it was still available for me here in Canada. And then this one is the 35V Stunning Vibes, which is also gorgeous. I'm going to be just dipping into either of these. I would never wear pink eyeshadow, so it's kind of the perfect choice for me here. That said, I don't know how to do a pink eyeshadow look, so I probably should have thought about that, but I didn't. I think I'm going to start going into the 35V with three little words. This, am I supposed to show you? I don't know. This pink dual shifting color. I'm going to try to put that on the outer corner. And it's nowhere to be seen. Let's go for purple instead. So on the Color Burst 35B, I'm going to go up top, this more plum color called Wildberry. That's what I'm doing. So we're going to go at least halfway across the lid. My problem with this eye is that it can't stay closed while the other stays open properly, so I just have to hold it down right around the lashes. I'm going to blend now. Those two colors are fairly blended. I'm going to go with an inner corner highlight and like a below the brow highlight. I'm going to go in on the 35V. This top color called Swipe Right. Great, that looks awesome. Gonna go up here too. So we might have to go in once we do the under eyes, but hopefully not. So going back in, I am going to go in with like a darker purple, but it's more glittery on the outside bottom lash line. I take like a super small brush for this part, and I'm gonna use this color that's there. Alright, so that's my eye look done. This is not an eye that I would typically do, but I think it's very fun. There's nothing I love more than like the sizzle of a new pop being poured in. So with the eyeshadow done, I'm going to move on to eyeliner. Eyeliner is a dark and mysterious book, and I think a book that I just finished is perfect for this, which is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This book is mysterious. It has you ask a lot of questions. It does answer most of them, if not all of them. But it's also very dark in a way that, I don't know, I think it's kind of an atypical way to be dark. It's a really good book though. And then I have another book, Hazelwood, which is also like in a similar way. Like this one is very mysterious and it's dark fairy tales, so it's interesting. Bop, 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 bop. Bop. So the first thing I'm going to do for eyeliner, I'm going to bring a white gel liner into the bottom waterline. Between this side and this side looks like a little brighter. This was a tip I was given because I have small eyes. I shouldn't say I was giving. It was not personal. I just watch beauty gurus. Okay? Now that I have that on the bottom lash, I'm going to go to the top lash with a gel black liner. So for gel liner, I use this brush. I think it's typically for eyebrows. It's got a spoolie on the end. This one every time I use for gel liner. I would love to get into liquid liner, but apparently liquid liner is like a wild horse that I cannot tame. Liquid liner is my white whale. So that's done. It's not perfect. I gotta be honest, it never is. We're just gonna move past it. Next is mascara, which is Pick a Long Book. So I have picked a book that I also read this year, which is The Name of the Wind, because that book is incredibly long. It feels lengthy. It feels like it covers a lot. Like it doesn't cover incredibly eventful things, but it covers many days. That said, it's a great book. Alright, mascara is done, but I think I need new mascara, so it was kind of weird. Blush, which is a cringe-worthy romance. I picked a cringe-worthy romance, but I think blush would be about a wonderful romance, so I'm going to answer that too. Cringe-worthy romance, easy. Bella and Jacob. Please leave, Jacob. Goodbye. By the way, I'm applying these like up like this because that's what I was told online to do, because I have a round face. I think that Jacob knew Bella was never going to pick him, but always forced her, and I don't love that idea. I wanted Jacob to be a friend. I loved Jacob's character, but I thought he just pushed the romance too much. And then if we want to do a double, talk about Jacob and Renesmee, which is something that I can't talk about without getting absolutely angry and just concerned. But let's talk about a great romance, which is, I hate how this never will go flat, but Rainbow Rowell's Carry On. It's the best. I don't care what you say. It's so good. Next is highlighter, which is for a book that brightens your day. My highlighter is always very nerve-wracking to open because it will go everywhere. Setting brush or setting spray on the brush to make that highlight pop a little bit. I think I'll do like 1, 2 sprays should be good. So for a book that brightens your day, I've chosen Percy Jackson. So I thought about this for a lot of, holy shit, that's fucking killer. I thought about this for a lot, what I wanted to do, because there's tons of books that I love, but what makes me feel like bright? Like what brightens my day? And Percy Jackson for me, even though it does get a little deeper, Percy Jackson can get darker, but for the most part, I would call it a very fun book, and a book that makes me smile. Like I love, I love how like my brush is here. I love Greek mythology, and I love the characters, and that's a book that just makes me happy. Cupid's bow. Wow, we really went ham on that Cupid's bow. The next is lipstick, which is favorite book kiss. So I'm going to put my arm up because I'm about to say spoilers. My arm will go down when I am not saying spoilers, and you can come back in. So if you have not read the Cinder series, the Lunar Chronicles, don't come in here, especially if you have not read Cress and Winter, okay? Spoiler time. Thorn and Cress on the Rooftop is everything I've ever wanted and more. He's hilarious. Obviously, Cress wanted it more than I did, for sure, but like it's so cute and so happy, and I love it, and I love their relationship in general, and it's everything. Okay, spoilers are gone. Lipstick, I don't know what to pick because it's such a light look. I feel like a pink might go really well. The fact is I don't have pinks though. I don't carry pink lipsticks. I think honestly the lightest lipstick I have is this one, ColourPop Lippy Stick in Fly Fi, which is gorgeous. So I guess we'll use that. I think it's still going to be a little bit, I don't know, a nude or a pink with this would look better, but I mean, it's a great lip color, I just don't know how well it goes. Cool. The last one is powder. I'm going to be using setting spray instead of powder because I don't use powder at all. Question for powder was favorite last book in a series, and my choice, which is probably somewhat weighed against the fact that I just finished rereading this series, is Winter. Winter to me is the perfect finale book. It's not a letdown. It has everything happen that you think has to happen. It ties up the loose ends. I just think it's great. And even though it's a long book, things are happening all the time. And it's wonderful. Okay, so that's it for the makeup book tag. I hope it made sense. It's kind of weird to do both these things together. So I know I was probably looking at the mirror more than I look at the camera typically. So hopefully it still ended up good. If you had a good time, please let me know with a like down below. And subscribe if you want to see more book videos. I post every Monday and Friday. Thank you so much.